Hello, my name is Visor, and welcome to episode 3 of Let's Play Witcher 2. Last episode, King Foltest and Geralt took part in the battle and took over the castle. However, there are still some rebel holdouts that we need to take care of, as well as finding King Foltest's children. Also, we'll learn why Geralt was locked up in the dungeon. So let's get started.
Forget the dragon. I need to hear how this story ends.
Alright, time for the final act. Pretty much.
You were at my side almost all the time after the bridge collapsed.
Almost. Tell me how you got into the monastery courtyard.
Ha! And they said we couldn't get near the walls. Half a day and the town is taken.
Report! Fighting for the castle continues, and a group of rebels have barricaded themselves inside the monastery.
What of my children?
Likely in the church as well, sire. Fen took a priest to task, finally mumbled something about a passage neath the walls.
It would take a week to get a battering ram in here.
Axes, sire?
That will also take time. But what other course do we have? This priest. What of him? What of this passage?
I fainted before I could really get going on him. He's under guard below.
You've some work to do, Commander.
Yes, sire. Silas, you look to this door. Fen, come with me.
Witcher.
Your Grace.
I've a mission for you, one suited to your abilities. Vernon can be persuasive, but he's also hot-tempered, at times losing both his self-control and his subject. You must try to find this other passage on your own. Succeed, and you'll be the envy of all Vizima.
This seems logical.
Soldiers loyal to the Lavalettes would never harm the Baroness's children.
I shall be reassured as to that when I see them, not before. We must act quickly. The rebels are dispersed, in disarray. As dim-witted as they are, I fear they could conclude the children would make good hostages.
That's actually a pretty good point. After all, their Baron Arian is currently locked up, though they might think he's dead, so what do they gotta lose?
Maybe Roach will get something out of this priest. It's a relatively large town. I could use a hint.
I'm counting on him. But time is of the essence. Please explore the area. We seek a tunnel or something similar. Beware of traps. They may have planted some. You're best suited to this. My men lack your skills.
Yeah, that statement doesn't actually make much sense to me. Yeah, I get he's the Witcher and he's good at hunting monsters, but that doesn't really give you an advantage for looking for a tunnel. He's not a treasure hunter. Whatever.
All right, I'll go.
I'm relying on you, Witcher. Where are those axes? Move
All
your
right,
asses!
so as you can see, the town's on fire. Still fairly beautiful, except the whole fire bit. Now, we actually have access to most of the houses here, but most of the houses here don't contain anything important, because mostly they're here to waste your time. Well, I mean, they do have a few Orans, but honestly, that's not too important. So let's just do the interesting stuff.
God help us!
Oof, that's not good.
What have you done to her? Shut it.
Time to pay your war tax.
War tax. What
These
bullshit.
people are unarmed.
This is not your concern. Get lost.
Now, you have a few options here. You can try to intimidate by freaking him the fuck out. Or you can try to persuade him with, logic. Or you could just try using a Jedi mind trick. Oh, sorry, Axis symbol on him. So let's do that.
Get out of here, now.
The hand symbols really sort of give it away, don't it?
Right. Sir.
Let's go.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Let's not be a jackass and just tell them to go. I'm pretty sure they already lost somebody right outside the door.
Be careful. You may not be so lucky next time. Find a place to hide.
I must find my wife first. They herded her away with others like cattle.
Good luck.
Well, that just got a bit worse. I mean, if the wife was rounded up, then I guess that was the daughter that just got shot. Ugh. But anyway, you might have noticed that you got another new attribute. Actually, we have several new attributes. Pyromaniac was actually something we got last episode when the dragon set you on fire. So this should help us do Igni better. Additionally, we got Conjure. you get conjure for using the Axii sign in a conversation. It increases your sign damage, which is pretty cool. Now, the Axii sign hex attribute we got for using an Axii sign in a conversation. If we had instead used intimidation or persuasion, we would have gotten a level 1 intimidation or a level 1 persuasion. But we would not have gotten a conjure sign. These attributes will level up more as you use them in conversations. And I think what is supposed to happen is, if your attribute level is too low, you can fail that choice. Now, the conversation we just had with those two guys who wanted the bribe, I've been told that it can fail, but I've never had that happen, so I'm not really sure what to think. Oh, also, one more thing. I don't think I ever talked about his outfit. This is his blue stripe outfit, which was originally included with a special edition of the game, but later on was patched into your regular versions. However, it doesn't really make much sense in the story since Geralt is not part of the Blue Stripes, and he definitely doesn't take orders from Vernon, who is the leader of the Blue Stripes. Anyway, let's continue with our quest, saving the civilians. After all, you notice the quest hasn't ended yet, it just sort of continued. Now, these guys are boarding up this house and plan to burn them all down.
You've no business here!
Maybe, but I don't think there's an order out to burn down the fucking town.
Leave them alone. They're innocent.
Innocent? They're with the lavalettes! Weeds that need to be ripped out with their roots so they won't grow back again. Treason spreads like the plague. No one will leave here alive. And you, stay out of this.
He wasn't kidding about it being like the plague. It's pretty much the same solution, isn't it? Kill and burn everything. I guess that's the right historical solution.
I won't stand by while you murder innocents.
So, what'll you do?
Kill you.
I was not after your blood. I have witnesses.
Yeah, like that matters. But now since we have a chance to do a 1v1, let's try to use Quinn. Now overall, I don't really like Quinn. It might be good if you could regenerate vigor when you have it up, but you don't. So it blocks one attack and you're low on vigor. Plus vigor determines how much damage you do and how much damage you can block, so it's really a huge candy cap. Now if I use Yarden here, it still has problems. Like that trap he'll never walk into, it's outside of his range. This one he will though. And the best part is, it stuns him for so long, you can almost take him out with one combo. Like here.
Let the people out and walk away.
Unblock the door! I'll report this.
Yeah, you do that.
Such a great bit of dialogue and voice acting. Love that.
Burn anything or touch a single woman, you sons of bitches, and the king will hear of it.
Now, Geralt does sound pretty badass in the English version, but since this is an international game, I always kind of wondered what he sounds like in the other languages. I think he can do French, Polish, and German, and Russian. Maybe he sounds awesome in those as well.
Leave us be!
You're free.
Thank you, my lord.
You can play him greedy if you want, but I like that nice Geralt personally.
Find a place to hide until this madness ends.
But where?
Plus, I mean, I think you have a feeling about these type of RPGs. If you go for the short-term profit, you're gonna lose out on something long-term. Anyway, now we're done with the quest. We protected all the civilians, and we killed a chicken, just because. And over here, we got a huge battle going on. So let's go help out. God, I love Axii. She makes these things so much easier. Plus, these soldiers can actually die. Now, you don't really need to save these soldiers. The whole point of this fight is you hear them say, "What, we've cleared this area already. Where are all these enemies coming from?" This is supposed to be a hint that they're coming through some sort of secret passageway, you know, like the one you're looking for. Now, you can also loot those dead bodies, and they'll have a note on them, but they're not that useful. We can check them out anyway, though, just in case you're curious. All they really say is, hey, head back to the monastery, or temple in this case. Anyway, also, if you look over here, it looks like you have a bridge that you can cross, but as you get closer, you'll notice a small gap. Since you can't jump in this game, you just can't go in that direction. Instead, what you're supposed to do is walk here and trigger this.
Block the passage, quick!
So that's where they're coming from. how does that help you? What can you do about this? Nothing from this side, actually. Instead, you have to walk all the way back to the courtyard and check that area out. So that's what we're going to do now. Though I'm going to loot every single building along the way because I like looting. Anyway, see you soon back at the courtyard. Alright, looks like something's over there. Let's go check it out. So, for here, this thing's brittle, so you can knock it down with Ard. Also, you might have noticed I am not holding a sword in my hand anymore. I'm holding a pickaxe. And from the damage numbers, it's actually a lot higher than my sword. Actually, let's just check it out right now. This is the sword I was using, longsword, 8 of 11, and the pickaxe is 13 to 21. And that's just significantly more damage. Sure, I don't get as much block reduction, and I don't have a chance to cause a bleed effect, but at this point in the game, neither of those I really care about. Especially since I don't really like blocking for, well, all the reasons we listed before. Anyway, let's fight these 3 soldiers. There's just something very funny about him finishing people off with a pickaxe. Makes me think he's like a peasant just kicking ass. And because of the pickaxe, I'm pretty sure the loot I find in those houses are randomly generated, because I never found a pickaxe before. So there's really no way to do a guide of what loot you would find here. Anyway, moving along, let's head down the well. This is basically their secret tunnel. Now you might have noticed normally Geralt has 2 swords on his back. Now since we replaced one of the swords with a pickaxe, there's only the one remaining sword. And that's not just a normal sword. That's actually a silver sword, which is used pretty much for hunting monsters. And right now we're going to meet our first monster. This thing is called a drowner. And they're supposed to arise from the dead bodies of villains or whatever. I think they're supposed to be vengeful spirits given form. They're not like zombies or anything. But yeah, they die a lot easier to silver sword than other normal weapons. Oh, also, there's the circle of power here. This is the circle of life. So again, you gain increased regen and vitality and vigor. There are certain things down here that are randomly generated. The loot is pretty much different every time. And I think I've had the enemy layout change on me a few times. But there are also things that stay the same. For example, this wall right over here always has a special sword. And normally I always equip the sword because it's far better than the old steel sword. But now that I have this pickaxe, there's really no reason to use it. Yes, again, it has better block, but the base damage numbers just aren't anywhere close to the pickaxe. So we're gonna stick to that. Anyway, let's keep on moving. Now it's this area here, which is why I think the enemy layout changes. Because one time I had a dude spawn in that back cage, and I've never seen it before. And clearly, hard stuns still work as good as before. Now one thing that I was told that doesn't work as well is Axie. Supposedly, it's not as effective on monsters than humans. I'm actually not sure whether that's true or not, but it might be. That's really something I need to do more testing on. Again, a brittle plank, so we can use some Ard. And usually I actually have a huge fight in here, but this time it's just one guy, I believe, so layout changes, I guess. Actually, I wonder how that affects your leveling. Did you like end up with more monsters one time and just level faster, or what happens with that? Because I don't actually normally level here. Anyway, we might as well allocate our points. Let's see what we want to do. I'm going to get parry this time. And I know, normally I say blocking and parrying is not that useful, but I really want to get fortitude, which increases your vigor regeneration in combat. And as you know, vigor is a huge deal for your magic usage as well as your sword combat. So we got to do the prerequisite first. Alright, let's get going. And now we can put away our silver sword since we're about to enter the monastery. Now right up here where you come out, there's actually a lot of loot. And that's not the important thing. I mean, you see me loot a bunch of crap already. What I always find weird, though, is there are certain things that aren't quite lootable. Like this bag here, it glows intensely, and there's definitely, I assume, something in it, but you just can't loot it for some reason. Maybe it's something that slipped through QA testing. Anyway, let's get going.
Scoia'tael.
That's a little dramatic. They're just a bunch of elves on the shore. How dangerous could they be? It's not like they're involved or anything, right? Now, we'll see. Anyway, let's keep on going. Another fight over here.
Blasphemers!
Get our axie ready. Boom, there we go. And at this point, since we have that pickaxe, it's pretty much a one hit from the back. If you do a heavy hit, really fucking strong. There we go. I don't usually use these almost joke weapons, but the pickaxe, I gotta say, is very funny to me. And normally I wouldn't loot everything, because most of the loot here is okay, but nothing too important. But I think I'm gonna keep on looting everything. Who knows, maybe I'll find a magical rake or something. Plus, some of these reagents are actually pretty useful for making stuff, even if I'm not going to specialize in alchemy. I mean, most of the alchemy specialization just increases how long those things last. I still need the general resource to make the stuff, you know? Anyway, through this way, it's blocked, so we're gonna have to head outside. And honestly, the view is just really pretty. I mean, a lot of things in this game is just really pretty. But enough sightseeing, we gotta get back to the battle. And this should be a simple enough fight. A little more axie.
Death to Foltest!
And yeah, I mean, the rolls are just so useful. They're really the best way to get backstabs in. Ow, fuck.
Down with tyranny!
It's a little glitchy, even though he's dead. Now, let's keep on going. We're almost inside the monastery courtyard, so we can finally let in Foltest. Actually, there's one thing that sort of bugs me about Axie. The fact that you can get hit while you're casting it, seems like those hits should, I don't know, interrupt the spell. I mean, it looks like a channel. And this fucking door won't open. Yeah. This happens to me way too often. And I'm not really sure why.
Death to the tyrant! Death to Foltest!
Ooh, look at all that blood. Now, one thing about Axie, at the initial level, you can only control one person, which is why in these big fights, I'm only controlling one person. Now, you can max it out and be able to control more than one person, but there's certain things about it that makes me question whether it'll be useful or not. However, we can get to that later on. Let's focus on the fight going on right now first. Yeah, the knights are pretty hard to take on in the beginning of the game. There we go. You notice he dropped the little pouch and it's sort of glowing? There it is. That glowing pouch basically means it's a quest item. In this case, we finally got the gate key, so we can, of course, open the gate. Go, use the key, and then we unlock the gate by using this giant wheel thing. Easy enough, though. Alright, let's go meet Foltest, as well as, you know, Vernon and the rest of the knights. Well, actually, before we do that, I kind of want to do a little more looting. Because this is the only chance you're going to get to take all these plants. Yeah, that's good enough.
You have just become the most titled witcher in the world. And the wealthiest.
I'll remind you of that when this is all over, sire.
See, Vernon? Geralt succeeded.
Lucky he did. The priest was downright discourteous and went off to meet his gods.
I saw Scoia'tael on the river.
Where? How many? What colors did they wear?
Plough the elves. We'll tend to them later. The monastery awaits.
Scoia'tael. This puzzle is beginning to come together, Geralt. You're either telling the truth or weaving a very convincing lie. I want to hear the rest. Foltest bastards. The Solar. What happened?
His line about the Scoia'tael always made no sense to me. He's acting like he's finally seen the light and all the pieces are coming together, when Geralt already mentioned the Scoia'tael to him before. It's not a surprise to him.
We might have arrived at the same time if not for tales.
Be specific, Witcher.
Well, the Archpriest told the truth.
His Majesty King Foltest of Temeria.
Arthur Tales, erstwhile Count of Nesvelt. I signed your sentence.
Yes, yet the Baroness saw fit to pardon me. An awkward situation, to be sure.
Anais and Boussy, where are they?
The royal children.
Don't test my patience, Tales, and I'll grant you a quick death.
Confess, Foltest, before the gods and the people. Boussy and Anais are the fruit of your loins. Bow to the gods and admit the truth.
You may not have noticed, Tales, but I just took this town.
Aided by murderers, sorcerers, and a mutant for whom nothing is holy.
This is hallowed ground. You will not raise your hand against a servant of the gods.
Yeah, I will. Now, this is actually kind of weird here. Every time I do this, I've never had it succeed. But I still get my answers anyway, so... let's see what happens this time.
Where have you taken the children?
The Solar. They're in the Solar.
What is this? Blasphemy! Sorcerer's tricks!
Yeah, see? The message said it failed, but...
Holy man unharmed and the noble gets slapped. A win-win situation, if ever I've seen one.
Damn, I've seen assaults go awry, but the dragon topples them all.
Tops.
Tops what?
Well, tops all.
Damn nonsense! Geralt, you should know. Is it possible to tame a dragon?
Not as far as I know.
Then why is this reptile eating only mine, then?
Let's hope Marigold got out of there.
I'm sure she did.
If not, you'll need a new advisor, sire.
Shut up, Roach.
It's possible that the dragon simply...
Another word from you and the dragon will not be your main concern.
Enough! Both of you! The dragon's back! I can't...
I don't know. This section always amuses me to no end. The dragon's very pretty looking and all, but just look at the way it's moving. Stomp, 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 stomp. Stop, slash. It's just so mechanical and weird looking. Great, now I'm down a sword.
You saved my life again. Ask what you will of me, Witcher. Within reason, of course.
I need to leave, sire. I'd like Triss Marigold to come with me. If she wants.
Are you blind? She's enamored with you. You may leave, and none shall stop you. You have my word.
Who goes there?
Foltest. I've come for my children. Geralt, wait here. You might scare them.
Ah, thanks be to the gods. My prayers are answered. Go, Boussy.
That's not my father.
But it is your king, boy. Bells, your triumph is complete. The city and fortress taken, sire. Time to thank the Forefather and the Mother Creatrix for this great victory.
A moment, blind man. I've not seen my children in 6 months. The gods can spare another minute. Listen to me. Your mother and I quarreled, but that is over. She was deceived. Evil men turned her against me. These men have been punished, and all will be well from now. No tears, Boosie. One day you'll be king, and kings do not weep.
Armed men approach, sire. Children, go to the refectory.
My knights will soon be here. You must meet them, for one day you will rule them. Boosie, go wash your face. They must not see that you wept.
There's a bucket of water in the next room.
Anais, help your brother.
Sire, let us pray.
They must look like the royal children they are.
They have your eyes, sire.
So yeah, King Foltest being murdered and Geralt being the only suspect is going to ruin his plans a little. And of course, this is also why Geralt is locked in the dungeon, because he's going to make a great scapegoat that no one really likes. You know, especially since he's a witcher and he just lost his only protection. To see what happens next, you have to wait for the next episode. But until then, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time.